get the question all the time, where do I find my vintage clothes? How do I thrift vintage? And today I'm kind of going to answer that question in a way that's accessible to you, because you can shop where I shop even if you don't live where I live. Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. So today is a thrift haul because I feel like I've been doing too many long shoot videos and I just want to sit down and talk about stuff and show you my little dragon hoard of trinkets that I have gotten in the past few months. This is stuff that I have been accumulating since about November of last year, maybe October. And I have just kind of gathered up all the bits and bobs that I think are interesting, that I think you guys will like to see. It will also include me finally answering the question, where do I get all my vintage clothes? How do I shop for them? Where can you all find them? Because I have answered that question in comments so many times, but I've never actually talked about it in a video. So stay tuned for that if you want vintage, and specifically if you want tips on finding plus size vintage. I have that for you in this video at the end, but we are going to get into it first with what is sitting right here next to me on the table. And it is this 1950s paper table display that I got fairly recently. I discovered that there is a senior center close to me that has a thrift store inside of it, and so I was like, old people stuff, absolutely, that is my jam, sign me up. So I went in and this was one of the things that I found. I think it's so cute. I have wanted one of these paper 50s displays for such a long time. So to find one was amazing. I think that it was about $4. I didn't leave the price tags on these because this is the thing. Because these are things that I have found, you know, for a few months, some of them don't have the prices anymore and I don't remember how much they cost. Keeping it in the realm of that thrift store, I also found this yellow sweater, which was actually in the men's section, and I don't know if it's a men's sweater or a women's sweater, but I thought it was really cute, and I don't really care if it is men's because I like it. And it's very 60s looking. This is actually a new brand. It's called Kufandi, so it's a made in China, not that ideal, but it was $4. I also got this one, which is a Rachel Zoe sweater. I don't know if this fits. I haven't tried it on yet. It seems like it will stretch. It's a size small, but like, whatever. This is a cotton and polyester blend, and I want to say this was also probably $4 or $5. I took the tag off because I was going to try it on and then I didn't. The one thing that I wish I had noticed is that it's like longer in the back, which I generally will probably wear this tucked in, so you're never going to see that. But I've been looking for more kind of like 1940s style vests and sweaters, so I was really happy to find this, and of course yellow is one of my favorite colors. And then I got a few different earring sets from that thrift store, and I think they were $3 for $2 or $3. I got these 1960s earrings, which I have been wearing nonstop. These are kind of my go-to earrings now because they're very reminiscent of the earrings that like Marilyn Monroe or Audrey Hepburn would wear every day. Mostly I see them on Marilyn Monroe pictures, but smaller than what she would have worn. I really like them. They are my current go-to. I also found these rope looking ones, which I think were also $2 or $3. And I like them. Again, they're very like 1950s, 1960s adjacent. And then I bought this for $5, and these ones are just really fun. I like plastic flowers, specifically like the plasticky 1950s or 1960s flower earrings, and I don't have any that look like this, so I thought they were very interesting and totally worth picking up. I don't thrift a whole lot of jewelry anymore, so I think this is the only other jewelry thing that I have gotten in the last few months, and it is a blue bead necklace from the 50s. I really like necklaces like this. I think that they are very pretty, very cute. I'm very happy to have gotten this, and I think that this was $4.99. Let's look at some patterns and sewing paraphernalia. First of all, I found this apron pattern for $2.99 from Value Village. I always check their sections because they tend to have a lot recently of vintage patterns. This is a 1950s, I want to say. I know they have the year on them. 1956 little apron pattern, which I thought was very cute. I also found this, Stephanie Canada is way better at finding the later 50s or early 60s pattern for a blouse. I feel like this would be really, really nice for summertime, so I picked that up because I want to try to make more clothes. I have a big fabric stash, and I really need to use it up because we don't have a whole lot of room to store fabric. That one was probably around 25 cents. There is a thrift store near me that has their patterns for pretty cheap. And this one's from 1957. Now this one I'm keeping because I like the sleeves. And it's not a complete pattern, but I think the sleeve pattern is in here. So I just thought it was really pretty. It is smaller than me, but I can still the idea of it and upsize it if I want to. From that same thrift store, I also got this very, very adorable 1940s, 1950s, 40s or 50s pajama pattern. I love the little heart pockets. They're so cute. And then I also found this 1946 pattern. This was actually probably from a vintage seller because it's got a little note on there of what it has. This one I want to copy and try to make up into my size because this is a bust 30 and I am very much not a bust 30, but the pattern looks easy enough to potentially upsize all of the pieces because it has the gathering rather than darts. So I'm thinking I can copy the pattern pieces and then maybe I will put it on my Instagram for sale, but that could take me a few months, so don't expect anything to go up instantly. But I just kept it because I thought it was a really cute pattern and I want to try to like upsize things that are definitely not my size, kind of like copy the pattern into my own. Then I found this advanced pattern in a size 20, which is a bust 38, and this is definitely 1940s. This was probably $2.99. That's generally what the patterns are at this thrift store, and it's just a really nice simple like button down dress. And then I found a Dewberry pattern for 15 cents, man. I wish. But anyway, this is another really pretty like button down dress. I really, really, really love this. There's something so perfect about it. I will have to upsize it obviously because I'm not a bust 36, but again, it's fairly easy to add an inch or two to either side or kind of like add a little give in the middle if you need to upsize patterns. And then this is actually something that I got online alongside some other 1940s paraphernalia that will show up in a future video. This is the complete book of sewing from, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, 1949. Let me look. 1943. I have a few other vintage sewing books and I just really like them. It's also an eBay find and this goes along with my 1940s series that I want to do. This is called Coupon Cookery by Prudence Penny, and this is specifically a World War II cookbook, and there are things in it that I really want to try. It has victory menus. However, the problem was I was actually planning to do this like in January or February. This month is February. I was planning to do this at the beginning of this year. However, the menus, some of the things on the menus are not in the book, so I have to do a little more research. But along with that, I also got a few other little wartime suggestion cookbooks. So overall, this is a video that is coming in the future when I can figure out an actual wartime menu and find all of the recipes that are in the beginning of this book. This was given to me by someone who lives in my town. Thank you, Daylene, so much. I am so excited about this. This is a big one. She's giant. This is Mary Margaret McBride's Encyclopedia of Cooking from 1959, and this is the deluxe version. These are so fun. There is already a recipe in here that I desperately want to try. It's called cheesy waffles and it just sounds really good. Now, of course, you all know that I have my Betty Crocker and Beyond series here, so I will be definitely going through this Moving on to, I don't know what you would call these, but trinkets. This is another thing that was sent to me by my friend Kathleen. It was $6 for the pair. She left the price tag on there. But these are little lady head salt and pepper shakers, and I actually am using them as decoration on my makeup shelf. And my friend and Kathleen and I have been friends for a very long time. She lives in Canada, and we have decided that maybe we want to just send each other miniature box like gifts. But anyway, alongside that, a very recent find from Goodwill that I got is these very, very cute little wall pockets faces. I don't know what they're called. They are little hats, and they are vases. So I think you're meant to put maybe dried flowers in them. And they were $3.99 for the pair. I think they're so darling. I absolutely love these. I love the colors. I love them, and they go right along with my little like lady head displays. So I think someday it'd be really fun to have them in a vintage style bathroom. Keeping in line with glassware, I found this absolutely stunning vase. I don't know, to be honest, if this is a mid-century vase or not. I have no idea how to era date glassware. I just think it's really pretty, and I don't remember. I think this was $5 or $6 from Goodwill. I just think it's a really, really beautiful vase, and our living room colors are kind of like red and green-ish. I'm kind of trying to go for a hobbity feel in there. Hobbits mixed with mid-century. I don't know if I'm going to be able to accomplish that. But I saw this at Goodwill, and I debated it for a little bit because I do have a lot of kids and cats, and I don't want things to break. But I think it'll be safe up on the mantle because the kids and the cats don't really go up there that much. At that same Goodwill, I also picked up 2 aprons, which if you know me, you will be yelling at your screen that I do not need any more aprons, but I don't really care. First of all is this really pretty white one with the little flowers on it. It was $4.99, and I just think it's really cute. I don't think I have any aprons like this. So that is one of my qualifications, is if I don't have that color or that print or that style, then I will get it. I no longer buy every single apron that I have ever found, but I used to. And then I also found this green one, which has a little holly leaves on it and all the little pom-poms. This one was $4.99, but I think the blue tags on this day were half off or $1.50. So it was either $2.50 or $1.50. And it's really cute, very Christmassy, which I don't have a whole lot of Christmassy aprons, so I'm really happy to add to that part of my collection. I also got these little vintage lady embroidered doilies. Are they doilies? I don't know, but they were $3 each. There were other ones that were flower baskets, and I wanted to get those as well. I suspect these might be for like armchairs, so like the arms of armchairs. I'm not sure. I will probably use them to put on my dresser underneath things, or maybe I'll find a frame for them, maybe I'll hang them on the wall. I don't know. I thought they were cute. And again, I really like vintage lady head themed vintage ladies. As far as other home goods things goes, these I actually got for a certain purpose that I'm no longer going to use them for, but I will. I mean, you all know that I like vintage tablecloths, so I got this green vintage tablecloth that has a set of 4 matching napkins, and I am always looking for tablecloths that have the matching napkins. I really like vintage tablecloths. I like vintage linens in general. So the tablecloth was $6.99 and the napkins were $4.99, but I believe these were on the 50% off tag sale. So I also picked up this lace one in a very lime, would you call this lime green? This is not lime green. Chartreuse? Is chartreuse green? I don't know. A very interesting green color that may not be to everyone's taste. Is this round? So this was $6.99, but again, I think it was on tag sale. So I think this was a 75% off tag sale. So do that math in your head. The reason that I picked up those 2 green tablecloths is that I need to decorate a lampshade for these lamps that I got. So here is one of my pride and joy prize pieces. I got lamps. Now there are 2 of these, but I can only fit one of these in frame. And the reason that I bought those tablecloths was that I thought maybe I could decorate these lampshades, which are very plain. I don't actually know if these were supposed to go together, but they were right next to them. So I was at the thrift store, wandering around, doing my own little thing. They're so beautiful. Oh, and I gotta put it down because that's huge. Let me see if I can fit it somewhere. I love lamp. So I was at the thrift store doing my own little thing. I was actually there to look for a mid-century or mid-century looking buffet, credenza, dresser, like low dresser situation for our dining room or our living room. Because for one, I want to replace our modern ugly TV stand with a mid-century something that I can both store blankets and movies in. I would love to have like drawers that we can stuff everything in. But I also would love to have some kind of buffet to store my husband's film stuff in the living room, and or just storage. Our house doesn't have a lot of storage, so I was looking for some kind of dresser, buffet, whatever. And this one thrift store, every 3rd or 4th Friday of the month, everything is 50% off. So it's a really good day to go, but it's also a very busy day to go. And I was walking through looking for those things, and I turned the corner and I saw these lamps, and I've never been walking through a thrift store and literally like gasped out loud, but I did. And there were, like I said, there's 2 of them. I stared at them for so long, and I was debating back and forth, like, do I want these? Do I need these? Like, yes, I do need them. I actually had been wanting lamps for our living room, but we have kids, and I debated like whether these were practical to have in our house with children. So I texted my husband. I was like, hey, lamp. And he said yes. So I grabbed the lamps, and I also grabbed the lampshades, and they were very heavy and didn't actually fit in the cart because I had the baby in the cart in his car seat and he was asleep. So I grabbed the lampshades, I grabbed the lamp, and I took it back to the guy who was near the bay doors at the thrift store where I would be picking stuff up that's too large for me to carry out to my car. And I was like, hey, can I like leave these here while I go up and pay for them? And he goes, yeah. He gave me a sticker. He gave me 1 sticker. I thought that it was going to be $69 each, because usually that's how most thrift stores will price things now, is that like even if it's a pair, they'll like do separate prices, and it's annoying, but that's what I figured it would be. But I was like, it's probably going to cost me $70 for the pair of them because it's half off day, you know, and so they're $70 each but half off, whatever. That's fine. I was willing to pay that. He gave me 1 sticker for 2 lampshades, and I was like, okay, whatever. And I went up there, and I didn't check to see if there was a price tag on both of these lamps. I just had grabbed them and run because there were a lot of people there, and I really didn't want somebody to steal my lamps. So I grabbed the lampshades, and I went up to the front to pay, and she said, is this price for both the lamps or just one? And I was like, oh, I don't actually know. I didn't check. I was like, he only gave me 1 sticker, so I don't actually know if it's for the 2 or the 1. It's your discernment. And she charged me $70 for the pair, but half off. So I ended up paying $38 for this pair of lamps. And then I got out to my car, and this older gentleman came up to me, and he goes, oh wow, those are amazing. I shouldn't have stopped for a drink before I got here. I totally would have grabbed those and sold them for hundreds of dollars online, because he sells antiques online, and he knew they were valuable. And I was like, yeah, they're beautiful. I just got them from my house. I really like the mid-century style. And we chatted for a little bit, and it was really lovely. He was born in the 40s, and he really likes the mid-century, like 40s, 50s, and 60s styles. And that was kind of, you know, it was really fun talking to him and chatting. And then I got in my car and I looked in my messages, and one of my friends messaged me this. I'll put it here. Where these lamps are listed online for nearly $1,000. And I screamed. And then my toddler asked why I had yelled. I cannot believe my luck, y'all. I got these for $38.99 or whatever the total was with tax. I've never in my life found something that was priced that much online. And that's not to say that's what they'll actually sell for. I don't know. I don't know if they're actually that, but that was the only listing that I could find of these lamps on Google. However, they are worth hundreds of dollars. And I got them for $38.99. So, all of that to say, go thrifting. Because I'm not planning to sell these. I want them for my living room. They are the color scheme that we are going for. They match my little green on my vase, which is actually kind of funny. But the lampshades, I really don't think that they're supposed to go with these lamps. They're so boring. So what I plan to do until I can find the appropriate lampshades for these lamps is I am going to potentially paint these. I got the tablecloths to potentially cover these in green, but then I don't really like the way that it looks. It's like too much green and they're not quite the right color of green. So I'm going to maybe paint these with a wash of like bronze cream, something a little bit darker, maybe just to kind of get them away from being so pristine white. And then I'm gonna add a fringe around the bottom, and that'll be good enough until we can find lampshades that actually go with these lamps. Okay, so listen, this seems like a lot. It is a lot. But I'm a fashion girly. I think now is a good time to answer the question, how do I find vintage clothes online and or thrifting? Because I get this question so much. And I don't feel like I have a magic answer, but maybe this will be helpful. We are going to start with the one thing that I have actually found while thrifting, and it is this black Jordan Creations 1970s dress, or maybe 1980s, I'm not sure. I just thought this was really cute, and I got this this was in October of last year. I don't think I left the price tag on it. I haven't worn it yet, but it's just a really cute, like, simple-ish black dress, but I liked the collar. I don't have a whole lot of black, and I'm trying to expand like my little black dress section in my wardrobe. So this is the one thing that I have found at the thrift store. I will say, when I am thrifting, I don't thrift a whole lot of clothes anymore. That I feel like the selection at thrift stores has changed a lot from being like true secondhand stuff to like there's a lot of fast fashion in the thrift store now. A lot of Target cast-offs, a lot of just like Shein stuff. There's so much more fast fashion in thrift stores now, and it's so frustrating to me because I remember 10 years ago going to the thrift store every day after I got off work, and there would be a lot of vintage. I found a lot of my oldest vintage pieces while I was thrifting at Goodwill for like under $10, and now if you do happen to find vintage at a Goodwill, it's like $30. And I know that times change, and that's fine. But I just want to say that, like, as somebody who wears an extra large and up, because I generally can, like, this is a size, this does not have a size on it. But I am about a 12 to 14 to 16 in dress sizes. It really depends on the brand. I have blouses that are a size 16 to 18. So like I'm somewhere in the realm of being at the very top of a straight sizes, like extra large to 1X. That's my general size on top. On the bottom, I'm at like a 2 to 3X. And I don't find a lot. I find more tops and sometimes skirts than I do dresses. I feel like dresses has really just gotten to be Walmart, Target, Shein, a lot of fast fashion website stuff. And there's not a whole lot of vintage out there, which is understandable because a lot of people go picking at thrift stores now and like there's a whole culture of reselling online, which is great for people who need to make a living, and I used to do that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But a lot of people do ask me how I thrift vintage, and really the only way that I do it, I look during Halloween. I look in the Halloween costume sections, because often, especially Goodwill, will preserve all of their vintage for Halloween, and they will only put it out in the Halloween section, and then you can get it in there, or in Value Village you can get vintage from the Halloween section. But that's like the prime thrifting time for vintage now, is around Halloween, because a lot of thrift stores put vintage out during Halloween. First of all, and this is not in order because 5 of these are from the same seller that I bought within the span of a month, and please don't judge me for that, but I bought it with YouTube money, so y'all basically funded my closet with this haul. Let me put this back on so that you can see the potential that I saw in this adorable dress before. Wait, what is going on with the hanger? So first up is this fashion frock. This, I believe, is potentially a maternity dress. I did not know that when I purchased it. I just bought it because I like the navy and red combination. I think that the pattern is very cute. The print is very cute. Well, I just bought it because I thought that it was really, really cute. I like the print. I like red and navy together. And I want to say this was around $30. I don't have my phone, so I can't look it up, but it was, I generally won't spend more than like $60 unless it's a really spectacular vintage dress. I generally don't spend more than about $60 on my vintage, just because that's my budget. So it is possible to find at least like 38 waist-ish, up to about a 38 waist, and they're not like super, super rare in my own experience. I know that it can be different for everyone, and I know that there are people larger than me who will have a lot harder time finding larger vintage. I want to address real quick the reason why we don't see a lot of larger vintage online or in thrift stores, and that is mainly because it was worn more, and it wore out faster, and it was cut down to size for someone else. The smaller vintage is more widely available because it was preserved. It was a special garment, or it was just preserved for the next person, and the next person didn't want or fit it. And a lot of the vintage that we see in smaller sizes probably belong to women who were younger, because of the styles that I am seeing. A lot of these styles are for younger women. A lot of the like super full skirts, flowery, those styles, like with the higher necklines and the fashionable short sleeves, those are often for teens and young, like 20-something women in the 50s. And the button-down shirtwaist dresses that I own generally were made for people my age and older, which is why I think that it's often easier to find this style of dress in a larger size, because generally it was made for women who had already had babies, who were getting older, who were grandmothers, who were larger. So a lot of I've gotten comments telling me that I'm too fat to be 1950s, laughably, while I'm wearing 1950s clothing, which really shows me that people don't know what they're talking about. But I just want to say, like, the reason why it is often harder to find larger vintage isn't because plus size people didn't exist, and I had a whole video idea to do with this, which I may put out in the future, but it's not because plus size people didn't exist. It's because the clothing wore out a lot faster, and as you saw in my mending video, a lot of it started to dry rot, or it was just worn to shreds. Whereas the smaller stuff, which belonged to a lot of these people when they were younger, they saved it to pass on to the next generation, and then it just kind of got preserved. So all of that aside, let's move on to the next thing that I found, and I can tell you a little bit about what I search, what I look for, what my terms are, and how I find vintage in my size range. And this may not work for you if you are larger than me, because it will be harder just by the nature of how much is still available to us, but you can still try this if you would like to. So yeah, let's get into it. The next thing that I found is a swirl dress, and Swirl is a brand. It is a brand of wrap dress that wraps in the back. I saw this quite a while ago, and let me find my phone because I don't I don't recall how much this was either. I'm kind of going to have a laugh at myself here because I thought that I bought this like within the last 6 months. I bought this May of last year. It still feels new to me because I bought it and then I kind of put it away for a little while because I was breastfeeding, and because it's a wrap dress from the back, like, I can't breastfeed in this. But now that I have switched my wardrobe back into spring and whatever, I haven't worn it yet. One of the things that I will do is I have become familiar with certain brands of vintage, such as Swirl, which I know often will have made like adjustable sizing dresses. So I will search for just Swirl wrap dresses, which is how I found that one, and how I found this one, which again, I think I bought it longer ago than I thought I did, looking at my purchase history. I bought this in September of last year, so again, it's older than I thought it was. But this fits me in the waist, but because I'm breastfeeding, again, I couldn't wear it, and I just realized that I had it. It's got ladybugs. One of the things that I do to find vintage in my size is I won't search for that specific size. I will search for Swirl dresses or whatever other Lane Bryant dresses. I will search for kind of well-known brands like Sears and Roebuck, Macy's maybe, but I will search for brands that I am familiar with that I know made larger sizes. I bought this a little bit at risk because I don't remember that the measurements were, I think that they only included the measurements in their pictures with like a ruler, and it wasn't placed on it correctly. So I bought it kind of like crossing my fingers that it would fit me, and it will probably when I'm done breastfeeding. I got this one, which if you follow me on social media elsewhere, you will have seen in a reel around Christmas where I was trying to make it look Christmassy. This one was $20 plus $6 shipping. That is kind of the price range. I know that it's very cheap, especially with inflation, but my like general comfortable price range for vintage, and one of the reasons that I try to find kind of like damaged or not perfect vintage, because I have kids and it makes me feel better because then I don't feel like I have to keep it pristine if it's already pristine. But anyway, all of that aside, one of the things that I am more comfortable with spending about $35 to $45 on vintage. So that is kind of a way to keep myself from buying literally everything that I see. But as you will see in a minute, I did kind of do that with a seller that I found. I found this dress. Oh, she's pretty. And this was $24 plus $10 shipping. So $34 to $35. She has a few little stains on the skirt, but all of the little rhinestones on the bodice are still there, and I love it. And the other thing that I really, really love about this dress is that it has pockets, and it has 2 pockets. A lot of vintage dresses will only have 1 pocket because they're house dresses, and I don't know why they did that. Then we get to Mid-Century Mod, who is an eBay seller who you can also follow on Instagram, who apparently found an estate sale where the lady was my size, so I did spend a lot of money on these next ones all together. While I was scrolling, one of my other tricks for finding vintage in my size is to either search Vollop Vintage 1950s dress XL, or put like XL, XXL in the title, because some sellers will very helpfully put the approximate modern size in their search title, and that I love. I love sellers who do this. It makes it so much easier to find things. So that is what I do most often if I want to filter out the things that I know are not going to fit me. That is what Michigan Mid Mod does with her listings, and that is where I found this absolutely stunning paint set dress that was new with tags, had never been worn by anyone ever. I love this dress so much. I am about to put it away for my fall garments. It's so beautiful, and I've never I don't see a whole lot of orange in my 50s stuff, so I'm really, really happy. And the pockets, oh, the pockets! Because I knew that she'd gone to an estate sale where a lot of the clothes were my size, I kind of kept an eye on her store, and I decided to purchase this dress, which is a very sweet, not buttoned because I'm lazy like that, very, very sweet sheer dress from the 50s in brown and blue, which I really like this color combination. This one, I want to say I paid $39 for. Totally worth it. It's super, super cute. It does have a little bit of staining throughout the fabric, which makes me feel better about wearing it. Like I have said, I feel a little better when it comes pre-stained, because then I know that I'm not ruining it if I stain it further or my kids stain it further. But this has the original belt, which I really love. I paid $150 altogether on these next three, which I think is very extremely fair. First of all is this pink gingham 1950s dress with a white collar. The only flaw on this dress is that it's a little bit yellow on the inside of the collar, which is pretty normal for whites in any vintage, but I love this. I think it's so, so cute. The zipper doesn't like to stay up, so I'm going to have to figure out how to remedy that. If anybody knows, please let me know down in the comments if you know how to fix the zipper that doesn't like to stay up. Then I got this long sleeve dress. Same seller, same place. That is one of the other things that I do. I always check. If I find an item that's my size, I always check the seller to see if they have anything else. And it was just my luck that she had many things and still has some things up in the store that are my size that I'm debating. Like, I don't need them, but maybe I do. And the last dress, and this is actually the one that I did gatekeep a little bit until I could make sure that this was going to be mine. I didn't fully share who I had gotten these dresses from because this is another paint set dress like the New with Tags one, and I don't think this one has ever been worn either because it feels very crisp and new. And I love the button detail. I think this is such a cute dress, and I love the color combination, and it is perfect for spring. I love it. I love that seller. If you go to their page, definitely follow her. Lots of amazing vintage goodies. She has so much, and there are some sweaters and other items of clothing that I'm still thinking about when I have the budget again. But I probably will not be purchasing vintage for a while now because I'm doing a project where I'm trying to style from the left to the right of my closet because I have so much and I feel like I just haven't been getting dressed as a mom. So if you're interested in seeing that, keep an eye out. I am posting them here on Shorts, and I'm also posting longer versions over on my Instagram and TikTok. So that is it for this thrift haul. That was everything that I have bought since apparently May of last year, but essentially everything that I've purchased since about October, November. I hope that you enjoyed watching this. Let me know what your favorite thing was. Thank you so much for joining me in this chill little thrift haul adventure. As always, I hope that wherever you are feeling safe and loved. And until I see you again, have a beautiful day, and thank you for watching. Bye!